Welcome to the Artist Academy podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Earhart, and I am so excited that you're here to catch the weekly replay of my laid-back yet very inspiring conversations with other full-time professional artists. The purpose of this series is to show aspiring artists that it is completely possible to have a great career in the arts. And if you ever want to tune in and have your questions answered in real time by myself or featured guests, then just check out the schedule over at facebook.com/groups/Artist Academy every Tuesday to catch us on live. I'll see you there. This episode is sponsored by the Mural Master Program inside of the Artist Academy Advanced membership. This program is specifically designed to help you with every step of the mural process, from coming up with an idea to finding a wall to paint it on to pitching your ideas to businesses, and finally, of course, I teach you exactly how to paint large scale. Murals are a lot of fun and a great way to grow your art business. I know, because it has been one of the top ways that I've been able to grow my own art business as quickly as I have. With several years of experience as a muralist, I've dialed down the painting techniques, the proposals, the pitching, the whole bit. And now I've compiled it into one resource for you called the Mural Master Program. This is included inside of the Artist Academy Advanced membership, and I would love to invite you to join us by going to artistacademy.co, that is artistacademy.co, and click the link to see the Mural Master Program and learn more. And that's it, so let's get on with the show. I have a confession. I am the laziest motivated person you will ever meet. And if this is the first time you're ever listening to the Artist Academy podcast, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. I am 1 minute just bouncing off a high of smiles and motivation and wanting to conquer the world, and then the next minute, particularly in the mornings, I just don't want to leave my bed because life takes energy and I don't have it. And right now I am going through a phase of being a little bit unmotivated, and I couldn't even come on here and talk about, how to be your best self and how to be super motivated all the time without just telling you how it is. Because in my life right now, things are just a little hectic, not really in life, but just on the business side, really. It's just things are so busy. We just painted a lot, and so I'm a little exhausted. And yeah, I'm just a little unmotivated. So this past week or so, I've just been trying to figure out ways to get myself back into my happy-go-lucky, ultra-motivated self. And I've written down a couple things, and I want to go over them with you because they're working, and I think it can really help you as well if you're going through the COVID haze of being inside all the time and just not feeling very motivated. I swear I'm not going to say motivated every 10 seconds like I just have been, but it'll probably be the title of this episode. That word will probably be in there because it's what we're going to talk about today. So before we get into that, I think this is what I'm about to talk about is a little bit of a reason why I'm just exhausted, but it was so worth it. Our mural meetup. We just had our mural meetup and it was amazing. Now that I'm home and a little bit rested and looking back on it too, it went better than I had hoped for, and I had no idea what to expect. So if you're first listening for the first time and you have no idea what the mural meetup was, basically we just, 2 weeks ago, I asked my Artist Academy Advanced students, so artists from all over the United States, to come and meet me in Merrill, Iowa, which is a town of a couple hundred, really. So middle of nowhere, Midwest. I had a project out there, huge one, I'm talking hundreds of thousands of square feet project. This almost entire outside of this building I had to paint, and I was just thinking, wow, I could really use some help on it, and I think it could be a really good learning experience for artists. And so I put a post in the Artist Academy Advanced Facebook group a little over a month ago, and I was like, hey, anybody want to come? I'll pay for your hotel, you'll come and learn, and yeah, we'll just have a great time with it. And 8 students came out. 8 of them, some of them from the East Coast, New York area. We had one from Florida, we had some from Houston, just a little bit of everywhere. Some drove, some flew, and we all gathered in Merrill, Iowa for a week or less. They all kind of stayed, a couple of them stayed a couple days, and then one of them, Doran, shout out to Doran, because he stayed with us for a whole week and painted with us. So thank you again, Doran. I'm sure he learned a lot, and it was awesome having his help on the project. So shout out to Doran. But yeah, so we all met up in Merrill, Iowa, and we learned how to spray paint. So with a high grade, I'd say like commercial grade spray gun. It was pretty heavy duty. I put a spray gun in every single one of their hands and said, this is how to do it, this is how you clean it, this is how you work a spray gun. And we sprayed most of the sides of the buildings. And then I put them in a lift, so one of those boom lifts that can go up like, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 feet. I don't know how far we actually went up, but we put the harness on them, we got them up in the lift, put a paintbrush in their hand, and let them go to town on a mural. And we learned lettering on corrugated metal, mind you, which if you've never lettered on corrugated metal, let me tell you, it is so much fun. That's a little sarcasm for that, but it was a learning experience, to say the least. It was awesome. We learned about designs and copyrights and just a little bit of everything, and it was awesome. So the second night, I think it was, we all went out to a Mexican restaurant and had a little bit of margaritas, and I think everybody loosened up, and we all got to know everybody's personalities, and literally everyone that came out there was just so open to any kind of new experience and learning anything new, and they were just so nice. And it was like Ryan and I, my husband, who was also out there with me, we were talking afterwards, and we're like, it was just a really good group. We got really lucky. There were no, opposing attitudes. There was no, everybody just did amazing. They dove in, they got along, and we had a lot of fun. So that was the mural meetup, and it was the first mural meetup that I'd ever hosted. I had no idea what to expect, but it definitely just went above and beyond anything that I had thought. And now I am looking forward to having at least one, probably 2 or 3 mural meetups every single year for the rest of the time I'm an artist, which is forever. So this will be the first of many mural meetups, and if I haven't talked you into it, you guys can head over to artistacademy.co/muralmaster, or just artistacademy.co, and you'll find your way over to the mural area, and I'm going to post a video just showing exactly what we did, so you guys can see the murals that we created. We created 15 murals. It was insane. So with all of that, I was up there for what I thought was going to be a week, turned into about 2 weeks of working 10 to 12-hour days every single day. So it was definitely worth it. Don't get me wrong, but I am exhausted because it was outside. There's just all, you have all the elements of the sun, and it was just a lot of paint. And actually, as we were going along, about day 12, so all the students had left, and it was just me and my husband there, and we were painting, getting it finished up, and about day 12 of 14, my arm went out. I couldn't raise it above a shoulder, parallel level. I couldn't raise it up, and I was just like, okay, let's take a break. So we took about a half-day break, luckily, and then it was fine the next day, but I pinched some kind of nerve, and it's still kind of acting up. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not complaining. I'm just wanting to show how much we painted. It was exhausting, but it was so much fun. So now we're home, and after that bit, I took a couple days to rest, which is actually really hard to do, And I think this would be really relatable to anybody who is full-time in their mural business or art business, it's really hard to take a day off because I'm always thinking about what I can do. I should record a podcast episode. I should do this. And by the way, it is now Friday and I'm recording on a Friday and I was supposed to record on Monday. That is how unmotivated I have been. And I'm like, okay, I've got to record something this week. I've never missed a week in the year and a half I've had the podcast. I can't miss a week. And it's Friday and I'm recording. So we're going to edit this and put it up as soon as possible. So it's not technically missing a week. So I promise I'm not complaining. This is life right now. And I think I think 90% of the time I'm like, happy-go-lucky, this is the most awesome career, this is amazing, you should be an artist. But I just wanted to be kind of real for a second and say I'm feeling a little unmotivated and just a little tired and worn out. But, so, did you know, I was looking or listening to some kind of marketing podcast, something. I actually don't know where I heard this, but it really stuck with me. Did you know that psychologically, you being unmotivated is just you trying to get yourself to do something you actually don't want to do? So you being unmotivated means you don't actually want to do the things that you're trying to get yourself to do. So just think about that for a second. And I hope you're not like, oh, duh, Andrea, I don't want to do this and that. I realize. Well, I didn't realize, okay? And then I heard of that and I was just like, whoa, that's so true. Okay, take a step back. What do I actually want to do? And that's what this podcast is about. Because I want to just bring to the forefront this thought that we all have of we should be doing this and we should be doing that, and we want to please our clients and we want to please our friends and we want to look a certain way on social media and we want to do it for everybody else. But what do you want to do? Because that's the question I've been asking myself for the past few days or a week. I'm like, okay, if I could just strip everything else away and there was no expectation, what would I paint? What would I do? And really, it went to what would I do? And I'm like, okay, duh, I would paint. And I think any creative listening, it will probably feel the same way. You want to create, hopefully. and that's what you should want to. But I think whenever we're forced to create something we don't want to or something that doesn't light us up, it gets pushed off and then it doesn't happen and then it's late and then it doesn't turn out as good because we're not super into it. So I just want everybody to take a step back, because this is currently what I'm doing as well, and ask yourself, what do you want to do? What do you want to create? What do you want to paint? What do you want to draw? What do you want to sculpt? Whatever you do, what do you want to take pictures of? What do you like? And write it down or make a mental note of it or something and create that. Because myself, especially, I do murals for businesses mostly, or individuals, and I'm always talking to them about what do you want? What do they want? And I want to give them whatever they want. I want to people please, and I want to, sorry, I just got a text and I'm trying not to look at it and be distracted. I want to people please, and I want to just do a really good job for my client. But here recently, I'm noticing that since I've put out so much stuff throughout the years, and some of it's stuff that I wanted, some of it's stuff that other people wanted, whatever, people are used to seeing a standard of quality, or they're used to seeing things that they like that I do, and now those people, those clients, businesses, what have you, those people are coming towards me and they're like, we want your opinion. We actually, just yesterday, I was painting out at a business and I was like, okay, so I'm going to add white and then I'm going to add colors. I was like, do you have a preference on what kind of colors that you want? Blah, blah, blah. I was doing a butterfly mural and they just looked at me and they're like, you really don't do anything we hate, so we trust you. Just do whatever you want. And I'm like, oh, I was just a little taken back. Thank you. That helps my unmotivatedness right now. And it just helps, bring me up a little bit. But it just made me think, I'm like, what do I want to do? What if we stopped trying to people please, and we just did whatever we wanted to do, whatever I want to do, whatever you want to do, because artists are a dime a dozen. And I'm so sorry to say that, but we are. So many people can draw, some at different levels, but it's the passion behind what we do that really makes people stop and pay attention. And I'm having to remind myself of that here lately, because did anybody see this cloud painting that I did? And it had penguins all over it, and it had a penguin climbing up a ladder, and it was just the cutest thing, and I was so excited to paint that. I did it just a couple months ago. I painted that, and I wanted to paint on that every hour of the day. I didn't want to do anything else. That's what I wanted to do, and I was so fired up about this one painting, and I almost felt so silly painting it as well, just even saying the idea out loud. Like, okay, I'm going to paint a cloud and there's going to be penguins on it, and then there's going to be a ladder where one penguin is climbing up, and then just say, I almost didn't even want to say the idea out loud because I was afraid I would be made fun of, just to be honest. And I ran the idea by my husband, and he didn't flinch, and I'm like, oh, good. Okay, so it's fine. It's fine to tell everybody else about it, and it's fine to paint this. And I painted it, and it was just something out of my head, out of deep down from within, and I sold 2 prints almost right away. And I sell some prints here and there. Prints are not a big moneymaker for me during the summer. Murals are. Prints are, bigger around the holidays if I do a discount, or if I do, a really big push on it, which I teach in the 4th quarter success plan, which is coming up. But prints are really heavy and really profitable for me and around Christmas time, but really not any other time. And so for me to paint something and then have 2 print orders almost right away of this one painting, I was just it just made me stop and be like, okay, this is pretty cool. Because this is something that I really wanted to paint. I talked about it, like I loved it, and I told people how much fun I had, and I had a video of it, and just all these things, and it attracted people to it. It drew people to it, and it was so different, and so, it's something you couldn't pick up at, Hobby Lobby in the canvas section, or, it was just so different, and that was something that really came from deep down within, and so that is what I'm going to paint more of. So I'm doing a cloud series, and I'm so excited about it. It's going to be the cutest thing, and yeah, see, okay, just stop right there. You can even tell when I just talked about it. So the excitement that I had when I just talked about it right there, I got so excited and my face just lit up and I started to giggle a little bit. It's because I was excited about it. And that feels really great right now. So I just want to encourage everybody to, stop painting what other people want you to paint and paint whatever you want to paint. And it's going to change. If you start a series, it's going to change in a couple months. You're going to want to paint something else or add something to it or make it better or whatnot. It's okay. But I'm doing a cloud series right now, and I'm really excited about it. And I think that if you did something like that too, you would be too. And here's another really, really good tip that something that I've taken on here recently, and it's really paying off and really surprising me with the results. And it's whenever people come to me, and because that's how most of my business works, people come to me and they commission me to do something that they want, which is totally fine. Like that, I want to make money, so I want to please them. But they want me to do something they want, but they still want my input. They say, hey, my brand is this, and my colors are this. Create something along those lines, and that's usually how it works. I have to design something, and then paint it kind of to their expectations. And so that's always in my head. Like I mentioned, I'm like, I want to please them. I want to get the job. I want to make money with it. I want to this, that. One thing that I've been doing here recently is I will do what I think they want, and I will create a file for that, and I will send it to them. But along with that, I will send them something that I want and that I think that they should do if I had 100% say in it. And that's exactly how I word it too. I will say, hey, here's 2 examples of 2 ways we could go with this. One is one that I personally would do, and here's one that I think would fit your brand a little bit more. Let me know your thoughts. And so one lets me have the creative freedom that drew them to me, like the things that I do with butterflies and all of that stuff. Like those things are things that I want to do, pastel colors and just all that fun stuff. I want to make it as fun as I can and just as interesting as I can. And I want to make the project that they're giving me something that I cannot wait to paint. And then I'll, not dumb it down, but I'll just make it a little bit more bland is kind of how I think of it in my head. It's, it doesn't have butterflies flying out, but it's more on brand for them. And that way, they can look at that and do what they want with it. Because in the beginning, especially, I would try to figure out what the client wanted before they gave me hardly any information. And my husband was like, stop doing that. Like, just throw out an idea. They'll say yes or no and you can expand on it. I'm like, okay, so that's now how I do business a bit more. So I'll spend, 10 minutes or 20 minutes tops on a mock-up. And I'm like, hey, I kind of have this generalized idea. What do you think of it? And so I'll send one that I want to do and then one of what I think they would like, and they can choose. And lately, more often than not, they're choosing the one that I want to do. And it's so funny because they're usually something that I would never think that the client would want. And it's so silly because they're coming to me because they like my style, they like my brand, and so why not give them something that's on my brand too? And so I just wanted to encourage you and, give examples of, something that's working for me and something that is helping me be more motivated and less bored with my art. And it's just going back to, what do I want to paint? Why do I want to paint it? And just giving them what I want. Like, what do you want? What do you want to do? And if you don't know, then try everything. This is my best advice that I give to people before they found their niche and then after they found your niche, okay? These are 2 really good tips. So before you found your niche, say you have no idea what you want to do. My best advice is to paint everything. Literally, paint a flower, paint a portrait, paint a landscape, paint anything and everything. And then once you've found that thing that you like, and it's okay because that thing can change. I went from painting animals to, painting clouds and animals on clouds and rainbows and stuff like that. So it can change. So whenever you found something that you like for the moment and that you think could keep you entertained for the next couple months while you paint it, post about it every single day. I'm serious. Post about it every single day. Do a sketch. So say you're into portraits. Do a sketch of a portrait. Do your blocking of the portrait. Do some detail on the eyes. Do some detail on the mouth. And every step of the way, post about it. And post about how you love it. And post about what you feel. And post about just how literally how it makes you feel and why you're doing it. Talk about why you love it, because people need motivation out there, and people are going to, take the joy that you feel from painting something that you love, because they're stuck in a job that they don't love, most people, okay? And they're going to take that positivity or that energy from that you're giving out by posting and painting something that you love, and it's going to, go on to them. And it's a weird way to think about it, but that's how I think about it, and it works. And people are going to hire you based on the things that you are posting. And it's so funny too, because recently we just did like I just mentioned, we just did a lot of murals with inspirational quotes on a building with corrugated metal, right? Okay. And I literally posted, I was like, if I never paint on corrugated metal again, it would be fine. I would be okay. And so I posted, but just things painted on that type of a building, inspirational quotes, for like 2 weeks straight. And because that's what I was doing for 2 weeks. So I posted it for 2 weeks straight. And then I get home and I have a message in my inbox of somebody down in Arkansas who has a giant corrugated metal building who wants inspirational quotes painted on it. I'm not joking. You guys, you will get hired for the things that you're posting. And it's so strange because the things that you're posting will be a light bulb to some people for very strange ways. They might see that you painted a tree and think, oh, I need an outdoor scene. They might see that you painted letters and think, oh, I need a logo. Like, and it doesn't even have to be, exactly what you're painting. It's just certain things that you're painting will inspire your customers and they'll be like, yeah, that looks good. I want that. You almost have to show them what they want in order to, talk them into what they want. You know what I mean? Okay. You basically have to show people what they want. And so by you finding your niche, by painting anything and everything, finding it, once you've found it, post about it, share it, make videos of it, talk about it every single day. And if you're really, really serious about it, you'll do that. You'll post about it every single day. And before you know it, and it might not happen the next day, it might not happen within a week, but eventually you will be getting commissions for exactly what you're posting. So just do it every single day and watch the magic happen. So, okay. Well, I hope that this, gave you a little bit of motivation, inspiration, I guess you could say. So I'll probably name this episode Finding Creative Motivation or something like that. Something super cheesy and inspirational, because that's what I hope this podcast is for all of you. And I hope this is a good look into the mind of a full-time working artist. I am just like you guys. I get stressed, I get worried, I get happy and motivated, and sometimes I'm not motivated at all. So I just want to come on and talk about it. And if you have any questions, please let me know. But you can go head over to artistacademy.co/muralmaster to check out our latest mural meetup video. It's gonna be awesome, and I'm actually finishing editing it tonight, and it'll be up in just a couple hours. So it'll be up by the time this podcast episode airs. And that's it. All right, well, I hope you guys have a great week. If you guys can review this podcast and send it to me via direct message or whatnot, so basically just go to Apple Podcasts and hit the review section and give us a 5-star and give us a super nice review about why you're listening, and I will gladly share your art on my Instagram page I just hit 60,000 on Instagram, which is nuts, and I will gladly share your art on my story on my Instagram to help promote you, because I'm all about helping me, helping you. Yeah. Okay, hope you have a great week. I am off to paint some clouds. I'll talk to you later. This episode is sponsored by the Artist Academy Advanced Membership, a program for artists who want to up-level their art game by taking it from a hobby or a side hustle to a full-time 6-figure art business. With weekly trainings that include step-by-step proven art business techniques, plus painting tutorials from yours truly, and other guest artists who are masters in their field, you will be well equipped to learn and grow into the highly skilled and highly profitable artist you're meant to be. I've figured out what it takes to build my own 6-figure art business, and now my heart is set on teaching aspiring artists like you to do the same. It's not hard, but it does require your time and dedication. So, if you're up for the challenge, go to advancedmember.com. That's advancedmember.com to learn more. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. If you review our podcast and send a screenshot of that review to me on Instagram, I am at @ArtByAndreaEarhart. I will then promote your art on my story and tag you as a little thank you for helping me grow this podcast and our Artist Academy community. I have a reach of over 50,000 on Instagram. So this is a little help me to help you incentive. Also, if you ever want your questions answered in real time by myself or featured guests, then just hop on over to facebook.com/groups/Artist Academy to check out the schedule every Tuesday to catch us on live. I'll see you next week.